Hot topics, knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Hey, welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly. Doni, something's in your teeth. Is that
You know what? You got jokes.
Anyway, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. We are here at this beautiful place that I kind of keep things close to my chest.
Yes,
now
you do.
I'm a pastor of a church, and I do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't tell everybody about that yet.
Yeah.
But and I do production and everything. But one
That's
thing
right.
that people don't know that I have fallen in love with.
You've got a hobby.
Yeah, lifestyle change.
A lifestyle. There you go.
Bowling.
Yes.
And me and my wife, we decided we wanted to do something for the family,
Yes.
to kind of, do something together. And we came to this place, Southern Lanes Bowling Alley, and for some reason, I don't know what it was, but the bug bit me.
Yes.
And we fell in love with it.
And let me tell you something. He's not joking, because when we're not on the air, aside from church and aside from production, all he talks about is bowling. So
Right, and cussing people out too. But bowling has really kind of changed my life. So I wanted us to come here to my home away from home, to Southern Lanes Bowling Alley out here in Douglasville, Georgia, and I wanted to talk to the owner of this wonderful place, Mr. Randy Hicks. Now he is a professional bowler, okay?
Yes.
Now, come on now.
No, professional.
So he can make that ball go, and then it looks like it's rolling backwards, but it's really going forward, like on TV.
All that, but the cool thing is, I learned that that's the wrong way to bowl too. But
really?
he's gonna tell us all about that too. But welcome to the show, Mr. Randy Hicks.
Thank you, Marty, and
Doni
the Tree Lady.
That's right. That's how people remember me. Just go Tree Lady.
I just learned a lot about you in a small amount of time. But one thing that I've become and I've gotten very good at is reading people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And something sets you apart to start with, and that you tell me that you're a pastor. Mm-hmm. Also, it comes before you.
Oh wow!
So you don't have to really proclaim some things that people can tell. If you're equally yoked, sometimes I'm a devout Christian also.
Oh good.
And I'll let a couple of non-strike words come out every now and then.
Trust me, I let a lot of them come out, especially when I'm bowling.
That's our kind of people.
But I'm not perfect, even though I strive to do right.
Oh yeah.
So, man, welcome. And you're right. Bowling is a community.
Yeah.
And it is a place where you can have family outside the home. And what I like to think about this place in Southern Lanes is I wanted to create a place that hey, I'm a big believer in the golden rule. So I strive to do that in everything in my life. So I want to create a bowling place that I would want to come to. So it almost ties together. So.
Yes. And one thing that I love about Southern Lanes, and I didn't know this until I started getting into bowling, but there's a big difference between corporate-owned bowling alleys and, just people that love to bowl, and that you can tell that the owner of it is a bowler. Because what tends to happen is, I've been to some of the other ones where they're like, you got 1 hour to bowl for,
more corporate,
and it's not even a warm feeling. It's like they're trying to push you out.
Yeah.
Here, one thing that I appreciate about Southern Lanes is you see youth leagues, you see senior leagues, and then a lot of times they open it up for, I would say sometimes special needs, people. That was the league I was trying to get in.
That was what
I was trying to get into the special league, But
well, I'm in the youth league. That's for the people 18 to 25. Is that what you mean?
But anyway, one thing for me,
I know.
this is real radio.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna adjust a few things in a hot second.
Exactly.
But, one of the things that I appreciated about bowling is, I wish I'd have learned it younger, when I was a little bit younger, because it kind of teaches you about patience.
Yeah.
And it teaches you about, in a sense, kind of like golf.
Yeah.
There's no defense
right
in bowling.
Yeah.
Well,
why don't we let Randy tell us something about bowling?
Well, yeah, well, you know.
Let him get. He's leading into it. He's doing good. He's leading.
Once you learn more about it, there's little defense and stuff like that. But it's more about you being able to control your mind and your reputation, you know, reps and everything. But Randy, I'm throwing it over to you now, okay?
Yes.
So what are some things that people may not understand about bowling, or some things that they may just not really understand?
Well, the biggest thing is you got to challenge yourself and have fun, and be patient. And realize that you're not going to be a PBA member overnight. But what bowling does, and what a lot of people don't know about bowling, bowling's like the number 1 or number 2 participation, single participation sport in America.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it runs right with golf.
Okay.
So a lot of people do it, and you can compete on all levels. But what's fun, and what you've probably learned, is that hey, you can get out there and you can. Marty, even though Marty may average 170, he may bowl with Randy that I average maybe 220 or above 220, but we're equal. We're on an equal playing field.
Than I am.
Well, we're both on an equal playing field because there's handicap that that determines you over a period of time. So everything's equal, and it's who's doing the best that day for that's beating their own game that day.
Now, how did you get into bowling?
My parents were both bowlers, and we started. I got to go, and I got to bowl in the little youth leagues when I was younger, and it was. My dad was a pretty accomplished bowler. My brother's a bowler. My mother loved bowling. Her last game before she passed away was a 200 game. She was in her late 50s, 60s.
And that's a challenge. 200 is for me. That's really hard.
Yeah, it's a plateau number. That's what they base everything on in bowling. So you're either plus 200 or or right there.
Is there anything below 100? Because that would be me. There really is. Okay.
Well, it's all about how you play. Right. My wife, and she's off camera, but she started out, and she didn't average 100 for a long time. Yeah. She got a little better over time. We took her to Biloxi, and we went. There was a tournament that weekend, and the ladies were short a bowler, and Dusty was having fun. She had her stuff with her, and they said, "Why don't you bowl with us?" So she bowled, and Dusty ended up shooting 140 every game, about 140 every game, and she ended up cashing in the top 10 in the tournament.
Oh, wow.
So, she did really good, and what I say, it's for everybody. Yeah. So there's something for everybody.
It's amazing for, like my wife, me and her both kind of came in and just wanted to.
You guys work hard at it, and I love that.
Well, it was a reason for us to get out the house. Yeah. We don't live that far, and then we got a discount because once you started being part of a league, you get a discount to come in and practice.
You're part of a league also?
Yeah, but
he's big time. He's not telling you everything.
No, seriously, I'm thinking you just go bowl a lot. I'm like. Every weekend or your evening or whenever, it's like you always have something to say about
those
bowling.
times when you call and I don't answer. I am usually.
You know what I honestly thought? Whenever I don't answer, I kid you not, I thought you were in prayer, or that you were doing something in ministry.
But I'm saying some different things. I'm saying, God,
or that you were at the senior facility. But you're bowling. Okay.
Yes, but but for me and my wife, because I can't do church all the time, and I can't do production all the time, and it was something that we needed to do together.
Yeah.
And at the time I wasn't that good, she wasn't that good, so we said, you know what? For family time, let's just come and bowl.
That's awesome.
And what it did for us is we actually, when we first started, we got into a summer league just to try it out, and then we got into like 2 different leagues. But what it showed was bowling was like a family, because the people that we meet here in the league, now it's like, oh, I know Ben, and I know Zach, and I know him, and it feels good. It's almost like the old show Cheers, where everybody knows your name, and we come in and it became a family type situation.
Well, see, that's what I like about horseback riding. So, are you going to come with me?
No. No. those things throw you off.
Yeah, I try to get Marty to come do some of the fun stuff that I like doing, but he doesn't ever want to come.
Like you wanted to go snorkeling.
No, scuba diving. I want you to go scuba diving with me.
Time out. Any place you got to bring your own oxygen. I don't need to go. I'm just, if I got to pack my own air.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the place I need to go to.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But you know what? I will challenge you and your family to come bowling.
Okay. You know what? I will take you up on that because now that Kylie's at college.
Okay.
And Megan's getting ready to go to college. It's just going to be me and Morgan. So,
But one thing I want to ask about, Randy, because this is also a thing about entrepreneurs, and people are doing great things in the community. You became the owner, and I think it's you and two other partners came in together. What inspired you to actually purchase a bowling alley?
Wow, man, that's how much time we got? Actually, the previous owner, his name was Mahmoud Nabulsi. He, in 2005, somewhere right around there, he purchased the place, and I become good friends with him because I'm like you. If I wasn't somewhere, if I wasn't at a bowling alley, my wife wanted to know where I was. What's wrong, So, but I was hanging around here, and I got to be good friends with him. And we were walking around here one day, and he said, Randy, I'm not going to do this forever. And he said, one day I'm going to throw you the keys to this place.
Wow.
And this was in this bowling. It's back in that corner. Mm-hmm. I said, no way. How am I going on a bowling alley? I'm just a lineman. I'm a power lineman by trade. I've been in the line work industry for 30 something years.
A lot of guys that are in the tree service.
Actually, I'm well familiar with what you do. So, and I got some questions offset.
Okay, pretty awesome.
But anyway, it come 2014 or 2016. I was home from work a little while, and he said, I'm ready to get out of it. My health's not as good. And anyway, it's a long story, but anyway, I checked into it, and I did find a way, and I run across God put me with the right people.
Yes.
We'll put it like that. And Deborah come along, and Brandon come with her, and she wanted to know, how she could be involved too. And I said, say, if you got assets, we're in.
There you go.
You got assets, we're in.
Help you with that.
But we got a good situation because she's more or less the CFO. We let her stay in her lane. She handles money, licenses, make sure everything's in line on that, and then I handle everything, anybody coming in and out of the door and how the lanes are from the pins back, back up this way. Anything bowling, get people in the door, talking on the radio, stuff like that. All that's
you're the public face of the company.
The day-to-day operation. And sometimes with me, I got to be like the money operation in our business because like right now we got to pay some bills and do the money stuff.
That's
so
right.
we're going to take a quick commercial break. Right now you're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones, the certified artist.
And Marty, the certified pastor.
Okay, for right now. We'll be right back.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree Service.
Trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
Question: have you ever thought about where you're at in the Bible? The Bible is broken down in different parts. You got the Old Testament, the prophets, you got the Gospels, and then you have the letters from Paul. Where are you at in the Bible? Are you in the garden where you're still trying to figure life out? Or do you feel like you're in that 400 years of silence, not hearing from God at all? Where are you at in the Bible? I'd love to talk about it with you at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Yep, this Sunday at 11 a.m. We are in person, and I would love to worship with you. And we start at 11 a.m. We're located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can always log on to stmarklutheranchurch.org and be a part of any of our online services. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org.
Hey, this is Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
Well, you know what? I thought you was going to...
I was getting ready. I know. I was like,
she looked at me like you were supposed to say my name. You know, like I am.
I was confused.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not even.
Yeah, well,
I think something's in that salad.
Doni Jones Live, Marty McFly here with Randy Hicks at Southern Lanes Bowling Alley out here in beautiful Douglasville.
And I want to go bowling now.
Yes.
I really do.
Do you know bowling has been around for centuries? Even the Egyptians was bowling. Seriously, no, and they were actually using skulls.
My daughter makes up stuff, and she is so confident about it. I believe her.
I'm not making this up. I'm serious.
Okay,
you know, it's been a long tradition, and people have used this. And seriously, they found skulls that they were used as bowling balls and different pins and stuff. This is ancient times, but it has been going on ever since then. Since then. The bowling game has changed and evolved because, like, you know, you used to think you could just throw a ball down there and the lanes don't matter, but it's so much more intricate. Like the bowling balls have these cores that make them turn and everything, and it's all about oil patterns now on the lanes, where every lane is the same, you know. But Randy might can explain a little bit more to it because me being green, I've only been really bowling for 2 years. I don't think
you're green. Only 2 years,
honestly,
really?
Maybe less than that.
I don't. Anyway.
Seriously, because this is the first place. But Randy,
so, what are some interesting things that people would be surprised to know about?
I mean, he hit it on a lot. I mean, every ball is not the same. So I do bowl at a pretty good level, a lot of different places, and we bowl in a lot of different patterns. So if you go in my arsenal, I guess, or my bowling ball collection, I guess you'd say, I probably have 20 different bowling balls, but they all do something different. Every one of them does something different. It's whether, you know, depending on the pattern, the length of oil, you know, we put oil out. The lane's 60 foot from the foul line to the deck, so, you know, we usually put out our typical house shot is like 40-something foot, like 40 foot, and then, you know, how we shape the oil on the lane helps the ball curve and get back to the pocket, so it's a big help. But we can play defense with the oil, where the oil don't help you get to the pocket. Since we've been relating a lot of stuff to golf, you take the U.S. Open, they don't want the course to be easy, and they want to make the golfers look bad or make them look normal. You know, people, they're going to have a lot of bogeys, so we'll put the pattern to where you have to be dead accurate, and you don't have a lot of help getting the ball back to the pocket. If you throw it so far out of bounds, no matter whether you're curving or not, that ball's just going to keep going straight into the gutter.
So the oil determines that?
Yes.
Get out of here.
And so then we'll have bowling balls that have a duller surface, and they tend to grip more in the oil. So where if we get a real shiny ball, it may skid further before we get it hooked.
So is that why the alleys are a little slippery?
That is why the alleys are slippery. That's
Okay.
why we encourage people don't go past that line because you will bust your tail.
Yeah.
And I've seen
It's
that,
like-
and
it's like
maybe
I-
once or twice it happened to me.
Yeah.
But
Really? I did not. I just learned something.
yeah,
That's interesting.
You know, and it's funny because I used to always think you just grab the ball, a house ball, and
I
just
did.
roll it down. And if I hit it in the straight middle, I was hit a strike, and it's like, no.
So
Yeah,
as a
that's
competitor, how do you know which ball to use?
Experience. It's experience. I mean,
Okay.
a lot of it is knowledge. You know, knowledge of knowing the lane pattern, how long the hole is, and typically I'm gonna grab this set of bowling balls, and then depending on the volume of oil,
Yeah.
you know, it's not just how it's laid out there; it's how much. You know, so if you can lay down flat on the ground, look at the oil on the very outside by the gutters. There's very little or no oil. All right, for about the first 5 boards, and then as you get in and you look at it flat, it domes up in the middle where there's a lot of oil in the middle, none on the outside. As it goes down the lane, it's shaped like a Christmas tree. So if you throw it to the right, it helps it curve back, you know, once it gets to the end of the oil pattern. So it's a big help, but all in all, you still have to do the same thing over and over and over. It's a repetitive thing, so, you know.
Well, repetition is the mother of learning.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I
Unless
start
you're
now, I get better.
repetition doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a lot of things
right.
involved. Hand position,
That's
you know,
true.
where the hole, not just different bowling ball with different things, but where you place them finger holes in that bowling ball make a huge difference.
Okay.
So
I was explaining to them earlier about because they have different cores in the bowling
different
ball
cores.
where it makes the ball.
Well,
So if
we'll
you're
put
a
it like,
beginner
I'll
like
make
me,
this
go ahead.
easy. So if you got a bowling ball and you got a heavy side and a light side, and you spin that ball, the whole time the bowling ball is trying to make the heavy side get to the bottom. So gravity's playing a part. So
Yeah.
as you roll the ball down the lane and it's spinning in that oil and everything, that heavy side is trying to get to it. So you can play that to your advantage by that ball's helping your ball flip.
Oh my God.
It's helping it curve. You
I
know,
want
so
to
there's a
come
lot-
watch him play now.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be a little while before I get back.
Oh, that's right. You just had a little
But
something
we
going
have
on there.
plenty of there's some guys here that have really, well, matter of fact, we got one guy, AJ Rice. He's probably the best amateur in the world. That
Wow,
bowls here
right
every
here in
week, every week.
Douglasville.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's probably the best amateur. We have 2 kids that bowl. One girl that bowled in our youth league, she is the best 18 and under girl in the nation. She just
Yeah.
won junior gold. She bowls out of here. And there's a lot of talent.
So how does one get better? Like what makes one bowler better than the other? Is there a certain innate talent? Or is it just the practice repetitive?
You can be gifted. I mean,
Okay.
there's gifted talent. People, you know, athleticism, people that can really curve the ball, speed and
Yeah.
revs kills.
Yeah.
You know, it's you dominate the game if
Yeah.
you can do that, but you still have to be accurate.
Okay.
You know, so and putting the time in, like Marty and his wife, they come up here and they practice. I mean,
Wow.
they put the time in.
We
and
practice.
I don't see it. You guys, this is like real TV, or if you're watching this on YouTube, this is real YouTube video, whatever. I am really surprised. Like literally, I really was like, wow, he talks a lot about bowling, but in my mind, I'm always thinking you're doing production or church.
This
I
is,
didn't
you know,
realize you was really working at getting good at
Yeah,
this.
no, this is a place where, you know, you can, because of everything else I do, this is my
Yes.
relaxation.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes I'll come in and put on headphones and just
Yeah.
in a whole, it's like a workout in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, that you're just at peace.
Yeah.
You know, especially if I'm practicing by myself.
Yeah.
I'm at peace, you know, and I can just bowl and I can just throw
Yeah.
and I can think about everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
But one thing that I wanted to ask, and I hope I'm not putting it out there too early, but I've noticed there's not a whole lot of facilities that specialize in training with
Yeah.
bowling. You know, I think there's one maybe in Florida or something like that.
Yeah, Kegel Training Center.
Yeah. Was that something that you were thinking about doing here at Southern Lane soon?
Absolutely. It's funny that you brought that up, and I'm wondering if you're digging up information. But
He does his research.
We do have a 12,500 square foot another portion of the bowling center that's not a bowling alley. We have it leased right now. The first 5 years that we owned the place, we didn't want to, we wanted to focus on bowling and making bowling good. So now that the lease is running up over there, I do have plans. We're going to have a mini kegel, I guess you could say, here. I'll have 6 lanes set up on the other side of the wall at the other end. I guess you guys may can see that.
Yeah.
And it will be 3 different lane surfaces, and I know this is going to be above a lot of people's heads, but we'll use
You're already above my head,
three
so it's
three
okay.
different lane surfaces. We'll have specto clutch. If you watch PBA on TV and they see the guys throw the ball, and then the camera and everything follows the line exactly where the ball went on the lanes and stuff like that. We'll be able to project all that on the lane.
my
We'll be able to do all
goodness.
that. You'll get all the info back of how fast you threw the ball, what board you laid it down on, what it got out to, the amount of rev you have, the entry angle that it goes into so just unlimited information we're right here. We're in Atlanta.
Right, and understand that there's only like one other place that I can think of that does that.
There's probably 3 in the country. 3 in the country. You have Kegel, you have Ron Hicklin up at CTD creating the difference, and then you had the International Training Center in Texas where the USBC headquarters is.
But they're doing this here in the Douglasville.
In
area.
Douglasville.
Well,
Douglasville.
we like to think it's not just Douglasville. We like to say that it's the center of the world, basically. 'Cause
Hey.
we're right here at
There you go.
Hartsfield. We're right here at Hartsfield.
yeah.
Airport. If we can make a difference and we get the right people, it's all on me. So whether I get the right people in here and then we'll be okay.
This is a
gotta
segment
start.
that I have to ask you about in the aspect of ownership, because you're like, Doni is the owner, I own my company and everything. But you said something that it starts with you.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest
one of the
words.
things is I appreciate the employees and the way that the bowling alley is ran, and the I guess the customer service.
That's
And
right.
it starts with the head.
That's right.
In your experience here, what do you think that you being a leader here, how does that trickle down, and what is something that you
it does.
start with
It flows downhill. So every job interview I've ever done here, and I bring people in, the interview has the same saying in it. Is I said, look, guys, I said, or the person that I'm interviewing, and Janine can quote it word for word. Every bowling alley has a parking lot. They all have doors that you walk in. When you walk in, they all got rental shoes. They all got balls. They all got lanes. They all got pins. What's the difference? The people.
The people.
So if you got the people that are, engaging you as you walk in our bowling center, and they should, and if they don't, then I need to know it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we want to know, how are you doing, have a good time, who won the game, come there, walk by, and check on you, make sure you need something, and make you feel like you're somebody while you're here.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's important, because I do this. He can tell you we do the same thing in our company. I own a tree service, but I always tell you there's other companies that have chainsaws, there's other companies that have trucks, they have salespeople, but it is our people that make the difference. That's what sets us apart from other tree services. You can't find people like Abdi or IU, and even though these are guys who in our company, I'm gonna hurt
Casper.
you. I'm gonna hurt you. I use Jeremy, Dolly, Fatima. But no, we've got a great team of people, and it does make a difference. And I am selective about who we bring on board. And actually, we'd like to talk a little bit more about Southern Lanes when we get back.
Real quick, how can they,
take a break.
if they wanted some more information about Southern Lanes, how can they reach you or get in contact with them?
We have a website at southernlane.com, GA, southernlanega.com. You can hit our website, find out what we got upcoming, a little bit about us. But the best thing to do here is stop by.
Stop by.
Stop by.
Like that.
I'm usually here.
That's right.
So.
We're going to take a quick break. We are here at Southern Lanes Bowling Alley in Douglasville talking to Randy Hicks. You're listening to Doni Jones, the certified Arbor.
And Mardy, the certified pastor.
Need Marty means pastor.
But it's not certified, it's ordained pastor. There we go.
Ordained pastor.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the official.
Certified.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree
The
Service.
trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
Question. Have you ever thought about where you're at in the Bible? You know, the Bible is broken down in different parts. You got the Old Testament, the prophets, you got the Gospels, and then you have the letters from Paul. Where are you at in the Bible? You know, are you in the garden where you're still trying to figure life out? Or do you feel like you're in that 400 years of silence, not hearing from God at all? Where are you at in the Bible? I'd love to talk about it with you at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Yep, this Sunday at 11 a.m. We are in person, and I would love to worship with you. And we start at 11 a.m. We're located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can always log on to stmarklutheranchurch.org and be a part of any of our online services. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live, where I'm gonna hurt Marty McFly.
No,
I fixed that. See you get violent in here.
Out of here. You know, one thing that I have to say, you know, we're broadcasting live right here at the Southern Lanes Bowling Alley out in Douglasville. Right. Well, one thing that I've always noticed every time I've come in here, it's been chilly. It has always been chilly and cold.
It's not chilly.
Well, for people my body size or body weight.
Like my daughter's thin, and I tell her you need to gain some weight because she's always saying the house is cold, and she's like this big.
But you know what's interesting though? There's actually a reason why they keep it at a temperature here. You know, and I didn't realize that because every time I'm like, can y'all cut the fan off? Can y'all turn it up a little bit?
Yeah.
And I realized something that is actually for the condition of the lanes. And Randy can tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I mean, you keeping air conditioning is a bonus in the bowling world, and it is for lane surface, but it's also for the comfort of the bowler. Because if you ever been, I mean, once you get out there and start playing and moving around, you warm up. And if you bowl a lot, you're gonna get hot and sweaty.
And if you're having a good game.
And we agreed that we're never gonna fuss about energy cost here. We'll try to control it, you know, on our end, you know, that you know, we'll try to have the most efficient unit or try to have the, you know, and do it that way instead of the other, because if you ever been in a bowling alley where you feel like you need a fan directly on you or something like that,
then you
probably,
though.
you know, then you start having tacky approaches. The approaches, you start slipping and falling, and you know, there's a lot goes on with the air conditioning.
That might be something that kind of plays to our advantage.
Yeah.
If we, you know, but you know, actually, I heard, and this was a.
If you go to corporate, now we touched on it. If you go to a corporate center, they're controlled at a corporate office what their temperature is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, when it's 11 or 12, whenever they close, everything's cut off.
Oh wow, the corporate.
So, and then they get there in the morning, they cut it back on, and there could be cases to where this is not exactly true. You know,
Yeah.
some places I'm sure that
I assure
consider
you, they're not as comfortable as
But-
this.
yeah.
But to
but,
me, this is nice.
And I might be wrong, but I heard a situation where before y'all acquired the alley, that the bank had owned it or something like that, and with
man, you know a lot.
He does his
You
whole
know
take care
lot,
of the,
man.
but
This
to take
is
care of the
true.
alley, to take care of the
This is
alley, they
true.
made sure that they kept the AC running even though nobody was here.
I told the bank that owned it that we were a player in the game. But if you cut the air conditioning water off in here, we're out.
Wow.
Because if it sits that long and them lane surfaces just sit, they're moving, they're alive.
Yeah.
You know, they're everything. When it colds, everything's contracting. When it heats, they're expanding.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference.
And then
know.
you would actually wind up having to resurface everything or redo everything.
I'd be adjusting everything,
Gotcha.
you know,
Gotcha.
to the whole place. So yeah, I mean, wow, Marty.
He does this. I'm telling you,
worried
this is
about you.
No, but
I try to, you know,
that's smart, man.
as much as, you know, when you get into something, you like to,
Yes.
you know, learn as much. And, you know, even with the equipment here, they have a wonderful, which a lot of bowling alleys don't have, is pro shops that you can get, you know, custom balls, and, you know, they weigh them and they customize them to your hand. And I'm understanding that soon you're going to have an online service or something like that you can get your equipment or pretty much anything that you want in the bowling world.
Bowling supplies.
Bowling supplies,
We'll have
yes.
10 back bowling supply, not to be confused with Pro Shop.
Right, okay.
Pro Shop's local.
Right.
Okay.
That's where you go and you hand on, you talk, you
So
get your
this will be
fitting.
global.
This is a nationwide. I
Nationwide.
don't want to do global because I don't want to deal with hazard materials and
Gotcha.
stuff like that. You know, overseas and
Yeah.
stuff. So we're going to do nationwide bowling supply. It'll be you know, it should turn out to be a pretty good deal. You know, to where it's full service online, anything you need to do with the bowling. You know, from finger inserts to bowling balls to gloves to conditioners to hands to tape to, you know, anything. If you're sitting home, you can't get out of the house. You know, the pandemic did a lot for online.
Yeah.
You know, for online services. So, you know, we got to think, you know, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. So let's get out there and get a piece of the pie. You know, so
I love it.
It's funny, I saw your face when he started naming all the things that, you know, that you would need in a bowling bag.
Yes,
You know? And it's funny because they have
bag, shoes,
bag, shoes, you got tape,
slide
you know, the wrap
soles,
around your knuckles. And he did a podcast one morning. They used to do like
Tip
information.
Tuesday.
Tip Tuesday. And then they brought out this bag and like all the things you should have in your bag, you know, for bowling. I'm like, that looked like military stuff. You know, like your tape,
gotta have all your
scissors,
gadgets.
your this and that.
Yeah.
But you don't realize when they're really bowling like the leagues, you know, like Southern Has a lot of different leagues. They have a Christmas one coming up. But realizing that they might bowl 4 or 5 games or 6 games, and after a while your thumb thumb swells up, it shrinks and things of that nature, and it rubs your finger the wrong way, and you got to put tape and stuff on it. I was like,
You can tell he loves this, can't you? That's awesome.
Yeah, he hits on a lot of key stuff.
Yes, well, that's why we have him. But you know, both of you guys hit on the fact that this is a business, you know, and I like to talk a lot about entrepreneurship. What have been some of the challenges of growing a business and making it as successful as it's become?
It don't become successful overnight. That's one thing you got to realize. You got to build it. And you got to get people in here, and they got to trust you.
Yeah.
You know, so us being consistent.
Yeah.
With what we practice and what we preach. You know, we are what we are.
That's right.
You know, you come in, you know, are we perfect? No. But if you tell me, I'm going to try to fix what the problem is. I'm going to give it off. There's no telling how many games I've given away just for somebody that their lane broke down while they were here or something. And I try to make it right.
Yeah.
You know, while they're here. So, I mean, growing overnight and making sure that, you know, in the end, you do have to make money. or it don't work. We're not trying to make a killing here, but we want to.
You want to make a
I
profit.
still have a job.
That's right.
So I still have a job. So I'm an engineer, designer in the power industry now.
Oh,
so
wow.
So even as the owner here, you still have you still do the engineering side. Oh, wow.
See, I think that's so incredible, because I think that's a lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Right.
A lot of entrepreneurs think that, you gotta start in the gutter and lose everything and then kind of dig and figure it out. And maybe in some places that's the case. You gotta go to the school of hard knocks. But I think sometimes it's smarter to hang on to your job or your career until the business outpaces what you need.
Exactly. That's a very good.
It really is, and I think there's this idea that we need to start embracing. Because I'm all about entrepreneurship, I'm all about capitalism. I still believe that the American dream is alive and well, and I think that this country is going to be saved by small business people and people starting their own businesses and taking advantage of what this country has to offer. And that's exactly what you've done. But once again, you didn't just throw everything out to the wind and then go, I'm going to quit and just come do this full time.
We had to be smart, man. You got at the end of the day, if you want to stay married and everything else, you still got to bring in $1. We were careful
y'all
with
don't want to be in the trailer park by yourself.
In the end, you do have to, in biblical terms, when Moses, the water didn't part till he stepped out.
Right. Oh, yes.
So you got to step out.
That's right.
And to make something happen.
That's right. That's right.
God's there for you, but He wants you to act.
That's right.
Yeah. There's so many examples of that. There's one I'm reading right now about Nehemiah King or whatever, where they sent him a guy who had leprosy or whatever.
Yeah.
And Elijah was like, let's just go wash and clean yourself. And he's like, why I gotta do all that? Why can't you just heal me now?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of times people don't understand that the blessing is in the progress.
That's right.
Go out there and do something. The blessing is right there. Moses had to put the stick down, for it to part.
Yeah.
And then they had to walk through for their blessing.
That's right.
A lot of people, they want to do something new and something, like they want to get a job.
Yeah.
But you got to fill out an application.
Exactly.
Get up and go there and put it in.
Or they want to start a business.
Get up and go.
Yeah.
That's the key word.
Yeah, get up
it's a go. It's an action word. It's an action life. It's an action thing.
Right.
That's right.
You got to step out. That changes everything. Because I'm impressed with you actually accepting when they got through the keys and saying, okay, I'm gonna step out on this because I've never owned it before, but I'm gonna do it, and just step out there on faith. And that's right.
That's what made you know that this was the right thing to do?
I've been around. I worked out of town in the construction side of power lines for 8 years. The economy ate me up. In 2008, I had changed jobs, and it was bad timing. Or maybe it was good timing.
That's right, God. There you go.
So I learned, and then I almost lost everything. But I never went hungry, never missed payment, never did everything. I had to sell a lot of stuff, and I went from having a lot to not having a lot. Then I went out of town. So when I finally had to humble myself and say, hey, I got to go make money. So I went up in the D.C. area and I was staying out of town, a week or two at a time, and the whole time I'm there, when I'm not working, where am I at? I'm at a bowling alley. So the guys up there recognized, said, shoot, you're here all the time, come hang out in the pro shop. So I hung out in the pro shop and I learned how to drill. I learned how to do this, learned how to club. And then the lady that was the manager there was impressed with the fact that, I didn't mind hanging out, didn't mind working, So they started giving me bowling balls to compensate. I wasn't working for money. I was just like, I was going to be there anyway. Why not? And then every time I'd walk by a rug in that bowling alley, I'd straighten it up. And she said,
notice.
You pay attention to little things. I said, yes, ma'am, I do. I said, I just, it's just, I don't see how people, your employees can walk by and not see it. So if you see me every time I walk in that door, I'm usually adjusting the rug. So the little things are important.
But you even did that at this table. He saw a little something. He was like when he sat down.
I don't lie. I can't
After we had already wiped it up, I was like, okay. But that's good, though.
Look, if y'all want to get in contact again with Southern Lanes, either one, stop. What's the address here?
3931 Longview Drive.
Yeah.
Douglasville, Georgia.
Yep, and the website again is Southern Lanes.
SouthernLanesGA.com.
Yes, Southern Lanes GA.
There is the Southern Lanes in Kentucky.
You know
we
what?
don't want to get that confused.
I have called them a few times, like, y'all got leagues tonight? And he was like, no, and I came up here.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, they lied to us. But realizing that. But you know what? We're going to take a quick break, and actually, we're going to get a quick tour of the back room when we come back.
Yes.
You're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and me,
Marty McFly.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don Tree
If
Service.
the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.donijoneslive.com.
Question. Have you ever thought about where you're at in the Bible? You know, the Bible is broken down in different parts. You got the Old Testament, the prophets, you got the Gospels, and then you have the letters from Paul. Where are you at in the Bible? You know, are you in the garden where you're still trying to figure life out? Or do you feel like you're in that 400 years of silence, not hearing from God at all? Where are you at in the Bible? I'd love to talk about it with you at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Yep, this Sunday at 11 a.m. We are in person, and I would love to worship with you. And we start at 11 a.m. We're located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can always log on to stmarklutheranchurch.org and be a part of any of our online services. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Doni the Tree Lady.
And I'm Marty McFly, and excited about being at Southern Lanes and
Randy. You gotta say Randy Hicks. Yes.
I was getting it there because I'm excited because I never really get this close to the lanes itself.
Yes.
You know, as we walk down, seeing the lanes, and you can probably actually see the oil.
I'll show you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I will show you.
Well, I've never seen the behind the scenes, so this is really exciting for me too.
All right. So, I guess we'll proceed then. So, even as you walk right here, if you see the little light reflection, you'll see where the oil starts, just about 2 inches past the foul line. The oil starts
Marty.
about right here, and you can see.
Oh, I see it.
And as you get out to the middle, it's a little more prevalent, and out here it's kind of dry.
Oh,
out here
my goodness.
It's thick.
You guys, there really is oil down there. I thought that was like a figure of speech or whatever, but it's oil. It's really oil. That's
And
amazing.
see, on all these dots, I realized that these are different positions that you want to throw your ball
Yes,
at.
yes,
Okay.
it's different
Now,
ways
question:
that
do
you
you
read.
aim your ball? Do you
Yes.
actually aim your ball to the middle?
I aim it at, no, I aim it at, I'm aiming more at from an area to an area. So
Okay.
I want to project the ball from maybe where I'm at the center at the foul line, across between the second and third arrow, and then as it gets out here, down the lane, I want to be out here in this three board area right here, and then if I'm doing that, then that's usually gonna help me get right to the pocket.
See, I've been doing it all wrong. The few
But
times
I
that I've
curve
been,
it a lot.
oh, see, I don't know how to do all of
yeah.
that.
You
I
wanna stay
assume-
right down the
yeah,
middle.
so I need to stay
Stay
down
right
the
down
middle.
the
Okay,
middle, yeah.
all right. So for those of us
Don't be
that don't
trying to
know
get
what we're
fancy.
doing, so for those of us that don't know what we're doing, stay down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so if you can see the light reflection right here, Donnie, if you look right here, you'll see where the oil ends.
Oh my goodness!
And you would think it went down a lot further, but it don't. It
Yeah.
stopped right there.
Wow. Now, obviously, you guys have control of this and you have it set up a certain way. Is that the same for even these more corporate places? Because it seems like
They all have lane machines. They all
Okay.
have, but they have their own shot. We
Okay.
create our own shot.
Yeah.
They do.
They have their own
That's
unique
awesome.
house shots, each
Yeah.
one of them.
This is so neat. This is so
is
neat.
up and close
And here's
and
the other thing, guys. We are actually getting a chance to see the behind the scenes.
Right.
This is right. So for those of you that are new to the show or that have been with the show for a while, you got to check this out and tell people about us. Go check us out online, Doni Jones Live. Check us out, on the internet, Facebook, Instagram, all of that, and on some of the various stations.
Okay, now everything back here, I'm kind of, I'm not surprised to see, except the washer and dryer.
Well, we have dirty towels and stuff that we clean with.
Yeah.
And we have.
I didn't, because I'm like, you don't put balls in there, do you?
Marty.
You got some dirty balls,
Oh my God, Marty.
that commercial. No, I was just wondering, like,
This is right now. This is driving me nuts, and I'm in the process of fixing it. It's a little cluttered right here, and I can't stand that.
we
They're
talked about
driving me
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably addressed when I.
Yeah.
After
I
this
don't like
interview.
saying this, but anyway, something interesting that a lot of people don't know is there are 10 pins that you bowl against,
Yeah.
but there's 2 sets of pins in every lane, so there's 20 pins here.
Oh,
So while that you're knocking all these 10 down, the other 10 are cycling to get ready to go.
okay.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I like
This is some true behind the scenes. Absolutely.
and we do gender reveals too. So if you,
I love it. I
they do
love
that.
it.
Well, if it's a boy or if it's a girl, we're prepared.
So
Oh my gosh.
what happens to, I guess, pins that have had a long life cycle of being hit so many times?
I'll show you. We'll get that down here. That's on the other end, Mark.
Okay.
So what we do behind the scenes, these are 35, 40-year-old machines, 45 years old. They're Brunswick A2s. They're more or less the indestructible go-to. They are the bulldozer of lane machines. There's a little more modern. We'll have a little more modern machine on the other side that can do a lot more. But these things are indestructible. As long as you can weld, fix, and do everything, we do everything in-house.
Wow.
So if you'll turn and you look, you scan right there, we got every part, every replacement part, every spring, everything that you can imagine to replace on these machines, we have it. We don't have as many. We can run full house leagues here because we don't have as many breakdowns as most other centers, and we can repair and fix.
Well, just being back here, it's like seeing how clean the floor is,
Well, I
how
appreciate
clean the
that.
machines are, how
I see it
organized.
dirty, but you're seeing it is clean compared to other bowling centers.
Okay, I'm in the tree care industry, so
Yeah,
you
she
know, I
got
deal with
sawdust.
sawdust.
Yeah.
She got sawdust in her bedroom, just everywhere, just
You know,
all
I'm
over.
gonna hurt him. And you've never been in my bedroom, so you don't know.
We did do a show back
A lot
here.
of bowling alleys don't have this much room. It is
Yeah.
roomier.
Yeah.
Most of them just have like this, maybe the shadow to work with,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
and then they're cluttered and stored and everything. Nothing
I mean,
going
even
in.
your wrenches are in order.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely amazing.
This has really been an amazing, tour, interview,
Yeah.
and everything. I thought I knew a lot about it, but you just opened up my head to a whole new world.
And I knew nothing about it. So this has really been exciting. And also to be able to see something you love and to share it with us and to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
And just thank you for what you do, the energy that you bring to your
that,
company.
yeah.
I mean, you really are a living example of the golden rule.
Thank you.
It means a lot. It really does. And we got a pen. Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all got
Yeah.
I'm gonna like this one because all the other ones I hate. That's why I try to knock them down.
I love
But
it.
hey, y'all been listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones
And Mardy McFly.
We're here at Southern Lane Bowling Alley with Mr. Randy Hicks.
Yes.
So until next week, y'all. Love you and peace.
Yeah.
My pleasure, guys.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree
If the
Service.
trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one fall on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
Question. Have you ever thought about where you're at in the Bible? The Bible is broken down in different parts. You got the Old Testament, the prophets, you got the Gospels, and then you have the letters from Paul. Where are you at in the Bible? Are you in the garden where you're still trying to figure life out? Or do you feel like you're in that 400 years of silence, not hearing from God at all? Where are you at in the Bible? I'd love to talk about it with you at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Yep, this Sunday at 11 a.m. We are in person, and I would love to worship with you. And we start at 11 a.m. We're located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can always log on to stmarklutheranchurch.org and be a part of any of our online services. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.donijoneslive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Thank you for it all. The good, bad, the ugly, great and small. The times of victory and when I fall. I'm so grateful that I'm still standing tall. I thank you for my tears. The pain helped me overcome my fears. You've been good to me down throughout the years. It's a miracle that I'm still standing here.